Oh yeah, baby.
Hey.
September 1st.
Jules, we recorded?
I felt it was only right.
Wait, hold on. September what now?
September 1st.
It's actually the 2nd, Stiz.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Fucking Zoom date McGillicuddy over here doesn't even know what day it's on. He's been dating
I'm having a good week, baby.
Hey.
And we got a special guest in the building. Comedian, hometown or no town, Dave Russo in the building.
Dave, what up?
Dave, what you know about this song?
You know,
Just taking
let
you
me
back?
hear it. No, I'm not that old. But I do remember hearing this at every prom that I ever broke into.
Oh, what year do you think this song came out?
75? That's my
74.
I'll go with it.
Yeah.
What year is it? What year was it?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you don't know because that shit never tells you, right?
And I don't even know why that year popped in my head.
Hold on. September. Let's see. Song.
Got a fash you out with those fingers. How are you single?
There we go. I know. 1979, David. That was close. That was very close.
1979.
I was trying to be the closest without going over.
Who sings that song?
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth,
That's
Wind,
who
and
sings
Fire.
this
I should
song.
probably know. You're the music. My brother's the music guru. I like to hear what's. I don't like to know every. I don't like to listen to one song. Yeah, no, I don't like to listen to a song more than once because then you hate the song after a while.
Oh yeah, I can
like,
totally.
I like to hear
see that.
I haven't heard that song in a while. Like I was on a Human Nature kick by Michael Jackson. I was like, Human Nature. I was like on that kick for a while.
That sample though.
Oh yeah, it's a great
It's been
sample.
sampled a million times.
Hey,
Yeah,
I saw.
yeah,
You know what was raging on Twitter for the past couple days?
What's
Speaking of the versus battle, Michael Jackson versus Prince in like a song for song battle. Who would win? Everyone was saying Prince would absolutely destroy him. I don't think that that's true.
It's also
Wow.
that's like a
Wow.
preference.
Prince might end
You
up
know
walking
what? Can I
away
tell you
with the
something?
win, but I don't know if it would be.
Wow,
That's a
I gotta
preference
tell you
one.
something. This is a tough one for me. This is a real tough one for me because if I were to go back, you know, my first dog in my life name was Prince.
Really?
Yeah.
After Prince?
No, it was a fire dog, and my mom named it Prince. But anyways, but growing up, I always when I saw Michael Jackson do the Billie Jean moonwalk the first time, I was hooked, and I went to this kid Chris Rogers' house.
Come on.
I was at Rollerworks in Malden, and Chris Rogers to this day, I walked up to him and I pulled his leg. He was doing the moonwalk. I go, man, you gotta teach me how to do that.
Can you moonwalk?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, we
So
gotta
it's
figure
like,
that
that's
out
crazy.
at some
Moonwalk.
point.
Bap, come
But
on,
imagine
Bubba.
being at that age though, where like
This had just come
like
out.
MJ was just popping, and you were like younger but old enough to like.
Appreciate it.
Well,
Yeah.
the whole thing is, I remember I have an older sister, so you have to understand.
Right.
Off the wall, the Michael Jackson, I think it was 77, 78, 79, around that era, Michael Jackson's Off the Wall album. It's killer.
Yeah.
It's a killer. It's a killer.
Yeah.
9 to 5. I mean, it's smoking. And then when I was at the pinnacle of Prince. I mean, the first girl I ever made out with and went number 2. Touched the
let's
breast.
get to it,
was-
baby. Second base.
Was the Prince was the Purple Rain.
Purple Rain?
Yeah,
He
it's the
said
Palace,
the
which is no
number
longer
2.
there anymore.
Hey, real quick, funny
Second
story.
base, that's what it is.
A quick aside. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I was going out on my back porch to have a cigarette. I went out, and all of a sudden, I saw a kid and a girl. They were like right near my back door, and right when I went out to smoke a butt, they like took off, and I was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And like they started running away, and I kind of chased them down. And I'm like, yo, what the hell were y'all doing, right? And I kind of caught up to them. And they were like 16 years old, white girl. She had big breasts she was young, probably like 17.
Watch yourself, Stiz. You just said her age and everything.
So
He doesn't date by age; he goes by height.
right. So yo, I'm like, yo, my man, just tell me what you were doing. I just want to just tell me what you were doing. He looked at me, he put his head up, and like all bashful, he goes, "Sorry, we were making out." And I was like, he definitely got to second base.
You felt like the old man. You felt like the old
When
man.
you thought they was peeping in your window to look
I
for
didn't
some
know
shit
what they
or
were doing, but it was sus, bro. It was
Look
super
crazy,
sus.
right?
Real quick, let's do an appropriate intro. Dave Russo, comedian out here from Boston. He was at Giggles last week, I think you were. You got a show coming up, I believe, September
18th.
18th, that's right. In New Hampshire, right?
It's at Fulcino Vineyard in Hollis, New Hampshire. 1 hour north of Boston, right next to Nashua. Yeah, it's an outdoor gig and it kicks butt. It's on a winery in Hollis, New Hampshire.
Have they all been?
Paul Gilligan's the headliner.
Have they all been outdoor ones that you're doing right now?
Well,
since
since the pandemic, we've been doing. A couple people did some Zooms. Those weren't too fun.
I heard from a few comedians say that.
You know what? I'm probably the only person that enjoys doing Zoom. Like, you're watching me? You're watching me? I'm a middle child. Pay attention to me. Yeah,
yeah.
I take her on the
that.
tour of the convent. I bring my laptop. I go, hello.
I know
use
we
my
are
green
in a
screen.
convent right now.
Yeah.
Real talk, we are in a convent.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's a convent that no longer live there. In '09, they redid the city, did the they redid it over in '09, souped it up to artists' lofts.
I like when they do that, when they take like old schools.
It is dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you get the high ceilings.
Now, are the nuns
open?
are the nuns the one that strategically place the mirrors over the bed, or who does that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's kind of curious. That's weird placement.
Listen, I invite you into my home. What happens in this home stays in this home. Come on,
you're right.
It's
You're
like
not-
confession.
I'm Italian. I should have knew
Wait a
that.
minute, you're in a confessional type place right now.
I should have
You
knew
know what
that.
I mean? It's
Hey,
like-
so let's start off with the most important question. Which childhood trauma led you to get into comedy?
wow, isn't that awesome?
It's a great
All right,
question.
You know what?
It's
I
always
tell you
something.
what. I
That's a
tell
good
you what.
question, huh? Shout out whoever gave me that question.
I tell you what. I have to think that instinctually and naturally, growing up as a 9-year-old kid, I could dance. I could really dance. Like I could just.
I've seen your
I could
moves
just
on
dance.
Instagram.
Though.
You still
but
be
this is
dancing.
the whole thing. I could just dance, and so I always knew I was going to be in some form of entertainment, and. That was my first kind of luck of popularity, as I guess you would say, when you're a kid. But I played sports earlier than that, so like you're a kid, you're an Italian kid. You want to be the Fonz. You want to be, you want to.
So would you
want
dance
to be
at
Rocky
school, though?
Balboa? Yeah, I would dance at school. I would go to the dances. I mean, that was the thing to do on the weekends. I had like I said, I had an older sister, and she hung out with a ton of girls, and I was always stuck going with them.
Yeah.
So
and if you were the white kid that could kill it on the dance floor,
You were all right.
There was always something for
Yeah,
that.
you were all right.
I was that guy.
Yeah,
I was,
yeah.
and you know what the funny thing is? When I was a freshman in high school, 15 years old, I was 4'11", 79 pounds. I was a super late bloomer, and that might have actually made me go into comedy. The embarrassment that I had there because I hadn't even gone through puberty. When I was a freshman in high school, and I went to Catholic school, and they made you take showers. And I
Which
was
Catholic school did you go to?
Well, I went to Chevres, where you are right here in the convent.
Oh, okay.
That's where I went to parochial school for 5.
Oh, that's funny
because
because I'm a parochial school guy.
And then I went to Pope John for 1 year.
I went to Malden Catholic.
Oh wow!
My brothers went to Pope John though. Pope Joke, we used to call
See,
it.
I went to
Oh,
Pope John.
shit,
And I
shots
figured
fired.
Shots fired.
went-
Shots fired. Bang bang.
Well, you see, I just figured that Pope John was going to be robbed later on in life, so I said, I'm not going to pay for my education here.
Well,
you
and
know what
listen-
happened to Pope John, right?
No.
Oh man, they got hijacked.
Did they by who?
Yeah,
What happened?
whoever were the investors, or whatever, stole from Pope John. Pope John has no money now; they're defunct,
Well, they've been closed for a few years.
and
right?
that's because they got robbed.
Pope John in Malden, for anybody who don't know, it's a Catholic
No.
school. Also, though, here's a funny thing. I went to Malden Catholic, which was an all boys school. Pope
Great
John
school, by
had
the way.
girls.
Great school.
Great school for hockey. Great school for hockey.
So I seen on one
I
of
mean,
your
yeah, great school though.
just while we're on the school.
Hold up. Malden Catholic got judges that have graduated from
Oh,
that
yeah,
school.
yeah,
John
no, yeah,
Panetta.
yeah.
If I have so many friends that I don't want to say jealous of, envious of, that have the kids that I graduated from Malden Catholic.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
extremely
great
successful.
school. Yeah, unfortunately, they politely asked me to leave.
Yeah, so I got to asked to leave Pope John too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so,
That's why I'm in a convent.
I was watching one of your stand-ups. You said you were homeschooled. Clearly, that was a bit.
I wrote that bit up. You ready for this? So the homeschooling, which is huge right now in 2020, I am
It is.
proud
I was going to say that used to be a unique thing. Not,
and I'm
not no
proud
more.
to say, and it's all documented, I wrote that bit up in 1999.
Nice.
And I tried to kind of sell it to like Saturday Night Live as a bit of the homeschooled kid.
Oh,
and
shit.
So
What
some
was
of
the punchline? One of the punchlines
well,
was
one
like,
of the punchlines was the school dance kind of sucked.
right, yeah. You could easily see that in SNL
Yeah,
form, too.
right,
Yeah.
I remember going for art class. I got to paint the garage. These are all clean PG-13 jokes. No, but I was
Right.
like, and the whole thing was, it was a skit where my mom would take the job very seriously. She'd start off every morning with roll call. It's like every morning, Dave Russo
Dave
here.
Russo.
Okay, take your assignments out.
It's crazy how relevant that shit is
Recess
now.
was fun. Me and my boomerang. Hello.
Right, yeah.
gotta hit him with the Seinfeld drop. That's hilarious, bro. Oh my god.
So clearly a bit.
So it was a bit.
Yeah.
Well, now let me get back to how that bit came into my head.
Yeah.
So the bit came into my head because when you're in the comedy circle, what's unique that's happened in your life? What's different about you than anyone else? So when I went to Jesus, we didn't even plan this. When I went to Pope John and I was 4'11", 79 pounds, I was the Caucasian kid that could dance like a son of a bitch, and they called me every racial slur. Yeah,
The W word.
the W word.
The W word.
Yeah, I was that one.
Us three have heard it all
Yeah.
our lives.
And so,
probably, I'm
so,
guessing.
but I was called homosexual. I was called all the words when you turn 14, 15 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah,
You're
you don't wanna hear.
You know, not that you don't want to hear, but you question your own self. You're like, I think I
Alright,
like
yeah.
girls. Why are they saying I like guys? 'Cause
Right,
I can
right,
dance.
yeah.
Maybe because I can dance. Maybe I do like guys. Nope, I don't like him.
yeah.
Hey, you know what? The sweater looks good on him. It'll look better on me. Get out of here. So I think it probably goes back to the Pope John thing. What ended up happening was I a kid made fun of me. This is a true story, man. A kid made fun of me because I had no hair on my area. And a bunch of girls in science class, he's got no hair on his dick. I was like, well, what are you doing looking at my dick? You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was embarrassing.
Of course.
And to fast forward that story, he has since, that's why I'm not going to mention his name, he has since actually come back and apologized to me like 25 years later.
I always find that weird. You hear those stories of like the kid who gets bullied. And
I have a story.
What happened?
But I'm the dickhead in the situation.
Oh, and you went and apologized?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Well,
it was court ordered.
Yeah, I know. I was like, wait a minute. There has to be a fucking addendum here.
So this is when I want to say it was MySpace. That's how long ago it was. If not, it was the beginning of Facebook. I got an inbox from a girl who I went to middle school with who said, hey, what's up? I see it looks like you're doing good, blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to let you know you kind of made 7th grade and 8th grade like a fucking living hell for me.
Wow.
Snuk was like,
and I was like, wow. Because I consider myself a bit of a class clown from here to there. But, I would shit on people, whatever, but like I didn't realize how crazy it was,
we don't
right?
realize, yeah.
So I immediately wrote back, damn, I felt like a piece of shit, right?
Yeah,
so I wrote back, I apologize. Boom, she follows me to this day, cops the CDs, everything.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah,
That's dope.
But I did ruin her life in middle school. Facts. What are you gonna do, right?
Yeah,
Thank
no,
God
you
she
live,
wasn't
you learn.
vengeful. You wouldn't be working right here.
But at the end of the day, kids are pieces of shit. So we're talking 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, that grade
You know what?
area.
You know what the weird thing is? I
Still don't have hair down there.
I still don't have hair down there after all these years.
No. The weird thing is now before you, like, I had no hair down there. Now 25 years later, like you're bending over, you're scraping this.
To get
it's
rid
like I
of
was
it.
ahead of my time. I didn't even know it. You know what I mean? It's sad. It's like that's why I tell people, like, I'm wearing the shirt right here, right? Catholic boy. You know, God gives you. And I'm not like super religious, but when I look back, I'm like, Jesus. If I had followed Prince back to the original thing, my first dog was Prince because I loved Michael Jackson, but I learned how to dance. But if I followed Prince, maybe I would have said, hey, let me pick up the keyboard. Hey, let me pick up the guitar. You know what? Let me write my own song instead of dancing like somebody else.
Right.
And that's the other thing, right? You know, the Prince versus MJ.
Yeah, that's
like
a tough
Prince,
call,
because I
dude.
saw
That's tough.
everyone saying, "Oh, well, Prince plays instruments."
One's more musical, one is the whole X Factor
Exactly,
thing.
the
Well,
X
all right, hold on,
Factor.
hold on,
Mike
hold on,
dances,
hold on.
Prince
Mike
had that
fucking
too.
the
Hold
choreography.
up. First of all, okay, this is strange for me to say right here, but Prince, if you think of both of them, is like the masculine one out of both of them.
That's
and
insane, but
look
true.
what he dresses like.
It's insane, but true.
He wears,
Because at least you would see him with females and shit.
Oh, he was
draped
smoking.
all-
He
smoking with it.
fucked,
But
bro.
if he was
Prince
he was 5'2" in heels.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? So, but this is the whole thing. But that's a tough one for me right now because growing up, I would have said Michael Jackson all day long. But now that I'm in the entertainment business, the creativity and what he did. I mean, there's a video of I Want to Be Your Lover in 1979 on this late night show, and the guy goes, "Hey man, this guy Prince, if he's crazy as his wacky or something like that, he brought a camera, he videotaped his whole tour, like he was ahead of the curve and ahead of the curve."
That's
And
crazy.
and Michael Jackson, his family was ahead of the curve. Hey, look it up, let's get our sons in here for the Jackson 5. But this is the jam right here.
This is the jam.
This is the Prince
You know,
jam
of
right
course.
here.
Hell yeah, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Joe was a real dirtbag though, but he was ahead of his time in being a dirtbag stage parent.
Oh, the stage parent, yeah, Joe Jackson.
He would have had his own reality show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what? It's almost now. All right, now Joe was like literally abusive, right? But it makes me think of the Bill Belichick relationship. You hear Tom Brady saying this. He's out there saying, "Oh, it's so nice to be able to have fun now. I'm having fun now." Gronk saying the same thing.
Oh,
but it's like, all right,
You want the
was
fun or the
six
ring?
Hey, you weren't having
championships
fun
not
when you were winging?
Yeah,
I know.
exactly. So sometimes you gotta
Kills
work,
me.
bro. So
Kills me.
in the same regards, like I know Joe was abusive, and I don't want to take anything away from that, but like, would they have been as successful in what they were if Joe didn't
Probably
really
not.
fucking mold them and,
Nah,
and
they wouldn't
guide
have.
them to?
Well,
No,
you know what? It's one of those things where we're only living our first life. Like we don't like he was doing that, and back then what the hell was it? He had the belt on his butt.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And his father did it to him, and
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just like my dad never raised a hand to us, and
my
I'm
mom
grateful.
beat the
My
shit out
my
of me.
mom. I didn't say anything about my mother. My dad never raised a hand. He'd be like he'd stick I can't stick my mother on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You grew up with both parents in the household?
I grew up with both parents in the household.
what's
Yeah,
that
very
like? That's
grateful.
awesome.
Really,
What's
you
that
never-
like?
Really.
No. I didn't.
Wow.
I
Well-
didn't really know my dad. I had a stepdad, but he wasn't really like in
right.
my life. Like he was, but not. I didn't really have like a.
Put it
adult
this way.
relationship
Put it
with
this way. I don't take it for granted, but I take it for granted. Like I always
Grass
knew
is
growing
grass
up.
is always greener.
No, but I always knew my dad was a solid cat. He helped coach in Pop One. He always made my hockey games, my football games. He worked
Beautiful.
tons of jobs. He never. listen to your mother, whatever your mother says, and I always think I'm like the piece of crap compared to him. Like, look at how solid this guy is.
Yeah.
I'm writing fart jokes.
And I always felt, even though I didn't grow up with my father in the same household, I always felt lucky because I at least got to see him. I think it was every other weekend, visitation. Right? And a lot of my friends didn't even
know
have a dad in their life. So for me, I was lucky just that I had a dad and shit. You know what I mean?
I kind of had, I did not know my dad. Like, I knew who he was. I saw him a few times, but like,
you know, plenty of kids that just don't have a relationship. Period.
Anything.
Really?
So it brings it. So
if we're going to talk about the thing, I have to brag about this guy then.
Oh yeah,
because, absolutely, you should.
Because and not to like
good dad gang.
Good dad gang. Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's when I think about when I think about my dad, he's been best friends with my Uncle Skip, my Uncle Joe, Uncle Tommy Pasquarello. They're all 78 years old. They've been best friends since the 3rd grade. And my dad said they've never fought. And so I've always had an Uncle Joe, or I had an Uncle Skip, or their kids. So the whole thing with the dad being there with this climate that's going on right now, it's overwhelming when I think back. Like when it hits me right here because I'm like, when I hear stuff like that, and you know what, you try to be a big brother, you try to be a friend to somebody, and I know my dad on a personal level, when he coached Pop Warner football, and there were other kids that didn't have dads, my dad was driving them home. My dad was like a positive figure for them.
Stand up
totally.
guy,
And I tell you what, and there's a guy, Jason Gray, is a U.S. Marine, just turned 50. He always gives a shout out to my dad, and he's a militant. He's a pretty strong fellow from the neighborhood, and he's always giving a shout out to my pops. So so I've been blessed. I've been blessed, and my mom too, because my mom keeps my dad in check, and
somebody's got to do it.
And it's still together. Yeah.
That's awesome. I think, I don't know about you, Snuk, but I think with me, with not having a dad like how I wanted one, I know, and you're a father now actually, so you can probably speak on this better. But God willing, I have a kid someday. I know the type of father that I want to be. Based off what I did.
You know that from an early age.
Yeah.
You know that from an early age, the type that you plan on be if you ever become one.
Can I mention something? And I'm older and I probably won't be a dad. And I don't know what it is because I had this great dad. And that I've always thought to myself, why wouldn't I? Because I always thought I'd be a good kid. I'd be a good father, a good coach.
Of course. I'm sure you would have.
But it's not in the cards.
Sometimes it's not in the cards.
It might not be in the cards for me.
And that's a beautiful thing too.
I don't know, because I'll give you a friend, my buddy Chris Murray. I love him to death, right? He always envied and he always hung out with me because he didn't have a great relationship with his pops. You know what I mean? But now, dude, check this kid out now. Now he's got a wife, kid, and he adopted another kid.
Yeah.
Just did and he's he's the ultimate Papa Luego.
You can't predict how somebody's gonna go.
I know.
It's
just amazing that. That when you say the dad thing, I think my dad has actually spread out to other friends of mine, and just like as coaches and stuff like that. So
those dads are always the best.
Yeah, hell yeah.
The dad that is not your dad, but like
looks out
for
everyone.
Yeah. Yo, we've been dying to have a comedian on here, and
as we're talking deep, we're talking all deep.
Yeah, I know.
That's how it goes.
I know. Yes. Listen, we don't know where it's gonna happen.
What's the worst thing somebody does to you? You walk in the room and somebody like tell a fucking joke. Right. Nobody wants that shit. When I walk in the room, Stiz walk in the room. When I walk in a party, somebody goes rap. I'm like, get the fuck out of my face.
That's the absolute worst.
Fuck out of here.
For sure.
But
CD, I don't freestyle.
While you were young, we were talking about you being younger, and we were talking about music with Prince. And is it true that Rapper's Delight was literally your first album purchase?
It was the first album I ever bought. It was the first album I ever bought. As a matter of fact, it was either that or The Who. And I bought Rapper's Delight, and I've learned there was a 15-minute verse. That's what the album was, and I know all the lyrics. I don't even need to look. I'm going to hip-hop, you know, stop, rock it out, baby, baba to the boogie, baby, boogie. We'll speed it up.
Where were you? I'm trying to think. Where were you in life?
I know where I bought it.
So you were really young. You were.
Wow, what year was this?
That was 1979.
70.
Can I tell you something? It was right downstairs from here.
Seriously?
Right where I live, right here.
Album store?
There was an album store 2 doors down where the barbershop was.
Beautiful.
Two doors down is where I bought Rapper's Delight, and I bought my mom and dad a Kenny Rogers 45 through the years. For one of their
1980.
And with the parents...
1980, was it really?
Even though it's super clean... At the time, were your parents cool with you listening to rap?
Oh man, my parents. I was a dancer, man. My mom used to.
Yeah, it's more about the beat.
See, you know what it is? My mom somehow taught me how to do the freak freak out, ding 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 ding
Freak
ding,
out.
freak the chic, freak out.
Oh, yeah,
There was a
freak out.
dance to
Yeah,
that, and I'm
freak
doing my
out.
hands like this. This was the dance. Dun, 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 dun. And so I already knew
Nailed
how to
it.
do that. So my mom was definitely like an Elvis. She wasn't a Beatles fan. She was more of an Elvis fan.
Yeah.
She liked to dance. She was kind of like a rock and roller. You know, she was from the neighbor. She was from Everett.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
she probably had
Oh,
a
an
pocket.
Everett girl.
Probably had a pocket
Uh-oh.
knife. You know
Yeah,
what
she
I mean?
definitely had a pocket knife. bro.
Absolutely, she did.
She
Yeah.
definitely had a pocket knife. But no, but we were. Oh, is this it right here?
It's
I thought
Lashik.
that might have been it. Oh, it's Lashik. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
I don't-
right.
By the way, that's why when the kids were questioning me, like, "Hey, do you like men?" When I was like, "Wow, I do know who sings
Like,
freak."
yeah, I know. Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
you start
exactly.
And when you say Lashik, you don't really sound too masculine.
Right.
No, but we
you
were
know-
thinking when we were, we've been wanting to have a comedian on here to kind of ask them some comedian questions.
Sure.
We don't want to be too fucking cliche, but like, here was something that I thought Snuk came up with that I thought was a great question. Like, so if you could roast anyone on a Comedy Central roast, who would it be?
Like a
You ever see
celebrity,
those? Yeah.
like a celebrity.
Yeah,
like,
celebrity.
who do you think would be
maybe
a-
it could even be a mass person, but like someone that you would just love to roast.
I like the celebrity aspect of it because a lot of times I think they go on the board, Jeff Frost and a few of them, and they're like, all right, who is really good to get at? You know what I
Well,
mean?
you know what? I
As
gotta
a-
tell you something. I don't want to be roasted, right?
No?
So, and I've never thought about who would I ever want to roast.
Really?
I don't. Yeah, that's not.
You do know you get to rebuttal, though.
Well,
they
the
are
ro-
fucking brutal though.
They are
You know what?
brutal.
And I
They
could
are
put it this way, and this is
brutal.
honest. This is honest. I could handle it now.
Okay, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I have a little bit, like I have a little
Okay.
spirituality in my life, I say.
Okay.
But back then, when I used to watch, like I watched the episode on Family Guy one time, I was like, I agree with you. Like, why would you want to roast somebody? Like,
Right.
I don't.
See,
I want to bring people up. I want to bring people down.
I could see, maybe not right now, but I could see something in you where it's like somebody says some shit about your mom or your father, and you just get
go
up and go
ham.
over there and just start punching
Just
them.
start-
You know what I mean?
You know what? Diffusing the situation in comedy is kind of fun. You're kind of the maestro. I've been
Right.
heckled. I was called.
Yeah, how do you deal with that?
Well,
hecklers.
there's a guy by the name of Chance Langton. He said, first of all, you repeat what the heckler said so the whole audience knows
Smart.
what the guy's saying.
Super
that's
smart.
Right. That is
I like
super
that.
smart. Yeah.
Excuse me. And that's for all the young comedians out there. That's
Yeah.
that's like that isn't comedy 101, but it should be comedy
Should be
101 when
101.
you're getting heckled. Just boom. And number one, I'll tell you why you return. And this is what I was
So
taught.
they're almost in on the joke too.
Not only are they in on the joke, gives you time to think of a comeback. Jesus,
yeah.
It gives you time. Yeah,
Gives
yeah.
you time. Oh, so this guy over here, the guy over here is calling me a guinea.
Right, yeah.
Oh, here I guess that's what happens when you mix alcohol with a GED.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be like a heckle line that I came up
Why do
with.
I feel
right.
like that was a personal thing to me?
That happened.
He was
before.
looking right at
Yeah, he
Stiz.
was kind of looking right at me, right? And I do have my
Camera was
GED.
on. Cameras on.
GED, baby, good enough diploma. Yeah,
What's-
when go ahead. Steph.
No, I didn't even think of the heckling aspect, so you just brought
Yeah,
it up.
me
Like,
neither, 'cause I was gonna say, when's
I
the
love
last time
shit
that
like
happened?
I'll fucking fall into the YouTube hole and just watch fucking hours
Yeah.
of people climbing their way out of hecklers.
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr was a classic.
Where
Philly-
was that?
Philadelphia.
Philly.
Yeah.
Philly. That
That's
was
like a classic one, yeah.
classic. He ripped on Philadelphia for like fucking 45 minutes straight,
Yeah.
and by the end of it, he turned them.
Right,
They
yeah.
loved him. They
Yeah.
loved
Yeah, that
him.
you know what? That story. Not that he wasn't on the map because Opie and Anthony, but that really got his international name out there.
Oh, did Opie and Anthony kind of break him?
Well, you know what? He's put it this way, dude. Billy did a sitcom with Molly Ringwald, I want to say early '90s or something like that. And so he had to move to New York. He was on a sitcom, and then so he was always he was legit from day one. But
Because you came up with all these guys,
no,
right?
see, I was. You know what? How about this?
When did
They're-
you
they're a
start
few-
really
So they're a few
hitting
years older than me.
stages?
This is how I ended up living my dreams. So I always wanted to do this. I always loved comedy, but it was it just. My father wasn't a comedian. My mother's not a comedian. No one's in the entertainment business. I went to college. I got a scholarship to go to college, and so I don't know. I wanted to be business, or I didn't have really a path. I didn't really have a path, and so.
That's what everybody does when they don't know general business
Yeah.
course, whatever.
Yeah, so in 1989, I remember my first joke I ever wrote. And I thought it was pretty good. There was two jokes. One of them was Hollywood just cast Mark Wahlberg to play John Holmes.
Oh yeah, Boogie Nights.
The Boogie Nights. I go, John Holmes has the dick the size of a Fat Albert wiffle ball bat, right? I go, isn't Mark Wahlberg the guy who's singing that song, Hey Baby, can you feel it, baby? I can too. If you're going to ask a girl if she can feel it, she ain't feeling it. It was a goofy little joke. I was gooning on him, you know
Actually,
what I mean?
before someone fucks with me in the comments, maybe it wasn't, was that Boogie Nights?
That was Boogie Nights.
It was Boogie Nights.
But John Holmes was this guy who had this huge, and
cock.
some of you people don't know what a Fat Albert wiffle ball bat is. Fat Albert wiffle ball bat was this big red,
the big red one, right?
The big red one, yeah. So it's just an analogy. That's why the joke was so old.
Right.
That,
you were
and
a kid,
I remember,
yeah.
that, and I remember when they would make fun of us kids, we would keep the label, we would keep the tag on the hat.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
I said, you guys think we're not smart. You think we're not smart. If my team loses, I return that hat. I get the hat that I like. I go, how smart am I? I pay $20 for 19 hats.
Now, were you literally writing, like pen, paper, writing?
Yes, I was
kind of
writing.
coming up with these in your head? Like, how?
All right, so check this out. So my first class in college was Communications 101, Dr. Jane Elms Crayhall. And we had to do a 3 to 5 minute speech about who we are or tell us about ourselves. And I don't know, I'm visual, I'm physical. I told the story. I had this Boston accent in Pennsylvania. And then I'm in the car, I drive down here. I told
They love it.
And
They love it.
So I got I got some reactions out of it. And then I had to write a 10-minute speech. I had to write a 10-minute speech. And the 10 minutes was an entertainment speech. And I remember talking about the whole thing about me meeting my Italian Vincenzo Marenghi's daughter, Antonetta. You know what I mean? And the whole story about me meeting him and coming into my room. And it was just this big story. But it was funny, but it was true.
Right.
And so it kind of wrote itself. And I tell you what,
comedy.
man, I remember looking for those cards when I go, that was the funny shit I wrote.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Trying to look for those cards. But so I did that, but then I get out of college and I do my major is business and education. So I got a job as assistant director of admissions of a private college. I kind of fudged my resume a little bit, make it sound like I was, but I copy wrote this program called RAP, Refined Academic Athletic Program, 10-step program to get kids to continue education and how to do well in school and all this stuff. Because my college, actually, I wrestled Division I in college. I don't know if you did that research, but check this out. So check this out. We were third in the country, all academic, Division I, behind Brigham Young and Stanford, academically. So I guess I'm somewhat smart. And the only reason why I think is because I went to school in Massachusetts, and then you went to Pennsylvania. I was a fucking genius.
So wait, so like what
You from
year?
Jersey? Nah.
What year was like the first year you hit like an open mic?
Okay,
or
you're gonna
like,
love this stuff. So check this
because
out.
when was Rogan out there doing it? Like
Like,
early 90s, I would say.
to begin,
right?
I have no
to
idea.
begin, because he started out here.
But before you say that, were you comfortable standing up yet in front of people, or was it that class?
So check this out. So I had to. You go in and out with confidence, but when I worked at the college as assistant director, I was a recruiter basically. So I'd have to go and talk to freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors in high school, and I had to really keep their attention. I was the cool guy. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Listen, we got 40 minutes. We can do this the good way or the bad. Let's do the good way. Hey, here's a popsicle. You know what I mean? Hey, here's a. So I got to cut my teeth there, and then when I went on stage, so the stage presence wasn't bad, and then because I was a professional in education, I kind of knew what I could say and what I couldn't say on stage, and actually Lenny Clark said to me when I started coming up, I got to give him props on this. He goes, hey kid, listen, you want to be on TV? Stop cursing, don't fucking curse, man. Don't do what I did. Fucking write clean, kid. And so I wrote clean.
Write clean, right?
Write clean. I wrote clean, and it was
funny he would say that.
Well, because I think he felt as
maybe
though,
he was trying to hold you down.
I think he saw how the trend was coming. I think he saw how the trend was coming 20 years ago. That you can't speak your mind.
PC shit.
The PC shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Which I don't have a problem with PC stuff, but funny's funny. But you don't have to be hurtful funny. But you can be truthful funny.
Funny's funny. If you're funny, you're able to do it clean, dirty, and everything in between.
Right, but you have to also
so.
understand that if your brain in school is being taught by the higher ups or the educators are teaching you these words are bad. If people use these words, they're bad, they're hateful, they're angry people. Look at them like this. Ew. Instead of going, oh, you're uneducated, you don't know. I mean, that's what I tell people. I go, listen, if I offend you, it's not out of hatred, it's out of fucking ignorance. It's out of ignorance. Ignorance sometimes.
Right. Well,
I went to them all in high school. Stop.
Trying to be funny. There's no harmful bullshit behind it. Is what it is.
I mean, I don't get nervous, but I get nervous because it's. Well, with the comedy, I guess I'm feeling more comfortable now. But at one point, I would get nervous if I would offend somebody. So I really did. Like I actually was pretty good at going. You know what? I'm gonna not get the laugh on this joke. I'm not gonna do this joke, even though I know I'm gonna laugh because that lady or that guy over there is gonna write a letter, and the check hasn't cleared yet.
Well, I'll tell you,
Yeah.
last time, me personally, Dave invited me to go see him open up for Lenny Clark.
Len, yeah.
And you tore the house down that night, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, you tore the house down.
Yeah, Giggles.
They pack them in there at Giggles,
Because-
huh?
Well, not so much now in the COVID thing,
Yeah,
but back
I
in the
know.
neighborhood, yeah. Well, they had the tent.
They got them
and they're gonna
outside
be
like the
until-
strippers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I know, the drive-up strippers and shit. It's
Oh,
crazy.
really? I didn't know about that.
Some states have
that's
them.
a thing. Yeah,
I think Rhode Island might
Rhode
have
Island
them.
got the
Road
outside
trip.
girls, so yeah.
Hey, you got to pay for online school somehow.
Yeah,
Right.
on that. How has it
You caught
been?
on that one.
that's
I was
good.
drinking Gatorade.
That is
Online
good.
classes.
That is good.
Have you done? How many shows have you done like since COVID? Was that the first one you did last week?
I haven't done any
the
because
tent?
I've been collecting unemployment. What the fuck's wrong with you? No,
I'm
no,
with you.
I'm teasing. You know, we haven't really. The only thing we've done is we've raised some money for local comedians that have been out of
You
work.
stay doing charitable shit like
That is dope.
Salute.
Yeah.
You stay doing that.
Yeah, it's well. My name is Charity now.
Yeah. And you've been. I mean, Doug, you got pictures with everyone, like literally.
You know what's weird? I started doing the photo thing, and I remember in college, I remember being mad at myself for not taking more pictures in high school. I remember when I was in high school not saying, why didn't you take more pictures when you were in junior high? You know
We
what
say
I mean?
now it's the new autograph.
Right.
People don't even want autographs.
The new
anymore.
autograph
It's
is a picture with
Wow,
somebody.
yeah, I never thought
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
cool.
People don't want autographs.
That's why I was
anymore.
gonna actually ask, and so that was gonna be a segment whenever we have a guest. I was gonna be like, "Who is your best new school autograph?"
New
meaning
school autograph.
meaning picture with.
Or
Dude, I
as
gotta
opposed to
go. I
an
gotta go
autograph.
for that. I got two ones.
Yeah, we'll start it today. What's your
There
best
you go.
fucking new school
You know
autograph?
what? It was a video I did with Bruce Springsteen.
That's the one I was thinking of. I knew it was a big person.
Yeah.
And
Whoa.
I couldn't think of what it was. Yeah, because you were doing this little video series called Russo on the Road.
Right. I
Right?
still
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
you
Still
still do it,
still
yeah.
pump them out here and there.
Yeah.
But meaning you did get a pic with him though.
He
Oh,
did
I
a
got
whole
a video. I got
the
a
whole
video.
Like a whole
video.
little
Okay,
bit.
okay.
I got
Like
a
a whole
video.
little bit.
I
with
didn't-
him,
I didn't see that.
Almost like a skit, like how we would.
Okay, I
you
get it,
know
I
what
get it.
mean?
That's
but
crazy.
it was
So
Bruce.
we'll have to show that video. It was with my best bud, Pete Costello, Mike McCarthy, and my friend Dave, who has since passed, unfortunately. But we were doing a show for the troops, and they didn't tell us that Bruce Springsteen was going to be there.
Whoa.
And
My father's wilding out right now. The boss.
Yeah, and
Fucking loves it.
so I'm on the dais, and I have to do comedy. I'm the host, and so during the show, I said, "Hey, somebody asked me if I was going to make fun of the boss." And I said no, and they said, "Why not?" I go, "Well, the guy's from Jersey. I'm pretty sure he's got a weapon."
The actual boss.
Right?
he would've
So he liked it. He laughed. So at the end of the show,
Crazy.
I see him and Tony Orlando, who's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I whipped out the selfie stick and the video,
Yeah.
and I just started walking backwards, and they both came up to me. I go, "Hey, it's Bruce. I'm on the road with Tony Orlando and Bruce Springsteen. Did you enjoy the show tonight?" And they're like, "Yeah." So
Hell
it was kind
yeah.
of like surreal.
that was
And
dope.
it was one of the I caught a piece of my life on video for a split second that
Yeah.
was not planned. I
Right.
mean, things happen. You
Yeah.
step in shit a lot in your life. You know, good things happen. Oh, I found a $50 bill. You
Well,
know?
and you got to be a go-getter. I feel like when you're like, you know, when you're trying to
yeah.
do creative things like us, like sometimes you know, a moment can pass you by, and it's like you're either gonna take advantage of that or you're
Yeah.
gonna let it go. You're either gonna go up to Springsteen with that camera and fucking bang something out, you know, or you're not.
Yep.
you
But
know?
I have a regret, though, too. I have a regret. His was the greatest highlight, but Gary Sharon was singing More Than Words in Malden, and I went outside
Malden
for a
boy,
second,
baby.
and I love that dude, and I love that song, and that hooked me up in college. And I'm pissed because he wouldn't let me sing with them, and I've always wanted to just More Than Words.
It's a great song.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
a great song written right here in beautiful Malden,
Yeah.
Massachusetts.
Yep. Yeah.
Number one song.
Where
You
I
know
didn't even
song?
know that. I know the song, but I didn't know that was from out here.
Yeah, they're
Saying
they're all from out here.
I mean, I remember the video from when I was a little kid on MTV.
It was on MTV?
Yeah, that was on MTV. Of course that was on MTV.
Unplugged,
Yeah,
baby.
I guess.
Yeah.
I
Unplugged.
guess.
They
Yeah,
played.
the
they
video looked
played-
like it was an unplugged. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
they-
riff is so epic.
Yeah.
They played in London for the Freddie Mercury tribute.
Really.
They did one of the Queen songs in front of 100,000 people.
I got to meet all of them.
Not
with
Wimbledon,
AAF.
but it's in
O2?
London.
The
Trombo
O2?
I forget what stadium it was. Yeah,
O2 Arena?
Yeah.
I stayed at a hotel once directly across the street from Wimbledon. I just stared out the window the whole time like a fucking
That's awesome.
The cops were coming?
Like an absolute WWE virgin, and I was like, that's where Bret Hart fought British Bulldog in
Yeah,
'92
that's
SummerSlam.
awesome,
Wow.
dude.
That was crazy.
I didn't know you went out there.
Yeah.
You went out there. That's fucking dope. I would love to get out there. Yo, it's funny, Dave. We do every episode. We always play music throughout it, and we have the Stuck on Stuff playlist, which is available now.
That's gonna be crazy on the playlist.
Yeah,
now,
because
randomly,
so every song that we play on every episode gets added to this playlist. You know, so it's called the Stuck on Stuff playlist.
And
it's available on Spotify.
It's a lot of hip hop.
Fantastic, dude.
It's a lot of
it's everything. But so today's songs are gonna be just super.
So I mentioned Human Nature might be on there.
The range is crazy on the playlist. There's a lot of hip hop and early '90s R&B.
There's one song that no one ever pumps out, and that's Jermaine Stewart. The word is out. Go ahead, I'm gonna give you that beat.
Let's
peep it.
Dig it down.
Let's peep it.
The word is out.
Is that a hip hop song?
I
might not know.
Wait till you hear this thing. I wish you could see me dance right now. Wait till you hear that riff.
I feel like I remember that beat though.
Oh no, I totally understand why they thought you were gay. No, I totally get that now.
Wait till you hear the beat. This used to be one of the best breakdancing songs.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's more like a break.
Yeah, you were a breaker. He was a breaker.
So
what about
that? Take that back.
Hold on. Let's leave it up in the background. What's your Mount Rushmore of comedians?
You always ask me. People always ask me that.
Your personal
Bill
favorites.
Cosby.
No, listen.
You got to be able to say
if
that.
If someone could say, I don't think that's wrong. The fucking guy made great comedy.
I'll tell you mine after. There's some people on mine that you know.
Jim Carrey.
Nice.
He's great.
I fuck with that.
That's a legend.
I mean, dude, listen. When I was a kid, Eddie Murphy's Delirious. I still think to this day crushes. But
supposedly he's going to do another one. Supposedly he's about to do another stand-up.
But you know what? My appreciation for comedy goes around a little bit because, like, I always loved Don Gavin, the Godfather of Boston comedy's timing. But you know, Steve Martin. See, this is the whole thing, though. Gene Wilder to me is a fantastic comic actor. You know, I think I talked about this recently. Richard Pryor to me coming up, I didn't associate him with a stand-up comedian. I associated him with a comic actor.
The movies.
He was in the movie. You know, Hear No Evil, See No Evil. But the other one was Stir Crazy.
I've never seen any
him
of
and
these.
Gene Wilder was Stir Crazy. That's right. We bet. I mean, growing up, Richard Pryor, and he was on Saturday Night Live, and he was just and Johnny Carson.
Pryor was on SNL?
Oh, he was a guest spot. You got to see his spot with Chevy Chase. You want to talk about the kids' heads would explode right there. They're going back and forth, racial, like they're going like, what would you call it? He's and Chevy Chase is saying racial black stuff, and he's going, and Richard Pryor's doing racial white stuff, and then at the end. Chevy says the N-word, right, and Pryor goes, "Dead honky" or something like that. It was pretty good. It was opening up America's eyes,
right?
And that's what SNL was great for back
See,
in the
as a kid,
neighborhood.
though, so you're a kid, you know Richard Pryor because you see him on the TV and on movies. You're not following the stand-up comedy circuit.
And if you listen to some of his stand-up, some of his raw stand-up, how am I supposed to relate? I'm a little Caucasian kid from Malden. He had a tough, hardcore life, and I remember him in the movies though when he was the driver, the race car, the moonshine. They were he was the first African American race car driver or NASCAR, whatever it was.
I don't even know.
And he was selling he was doing moonshine on the side because they couldn't catch him. Great. I mean, Richard Pryor had some great movies, but when I go to watch a stand-up, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, so it was that whole point of view thing. And so that's why when everyone says like Russo's a comedian, I go, put me as an entertainer. I like to sing. I like to dance. When I get edgy on like my point of view, like I could have a point of view, but if I'm edgy, people don't like me. Like, no, we like you. You sing and dance.
Right.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you picking a side? You
dance,
know what I mean?
clown.
Yeah. So I like to open up a little bit, but sometimes if you put your neck out on the line and the majority doesn't dig that, it can cost you.
Makes sense.
No, listen. Like I said,
no, I get it.
Well, I like that. I like more now that I'm more open up now. You know, because there's some people that don't like the mask, some people that like the mask. I wear a mask, of course, if I'm outside to safety. But other than that, the only reason why I like the mask, is because I'm a horny guy, and it's another little thing for the woman to wear. You know, some guys are legs guys. I think I'm a mask guy.
Hell yeah!
You know what I mean? I'm a mask guy.
I like that you said Jim Carrey. Because I feel like people don't bring his name up when they're talking about stand-up specifically.
Oh my God, Jim Carrey.
And he's crazy with the stand-up.
I don't think I've ever seen a stand-up of
Okay, so
he has some classic bits.
What Jim Carrey did when he did stand-up, he did impressions. And he did dead-on impressions to the point with rubber face
contortions and shit.
He's just a champion. Traditional stand-up comedians, they loved him, but he wasn't that stand up like Rodney Dangerfield. Hey, no respect. Because he was so physical.
Punchline. Yeah.
But that to me is genius comedy. He did genius comedy when in the movie Me, Myself, and Irene when he beats himself up.
I never seen that.
You never seen that? No. That's a top 10 greatest comedy of all time.
But that scene right there, when
that scene is perfect. That's perfect.
He should have gotten an Academy Award. He should have whatever you get because
I'm kicking my ass.
He's beating himself
up.
But
it's how he does it.
Fucking hilarious.
It looks so fucking real. Like he kicks his own ass, and he's legit playing both parts, and he fucking nails it.
Yeah,
like nails it. I've seen Dwight from The Office do it, Rainn Wilson, and it looked good. But Jim Carrey shit is just another level when he does it on that.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey.
Did I mention Steve Martin, by the way?
No, you didn't.
No, but he's a GOAT. Okay. Yeah, Steve's up there.
I'm not a big Steve Martin guy. Never have been.
Well, how about this? I liked his movies before I knew he did stand up.
Okay.
Really?
Because I liked him in The Jerk. If you've never seen the movie The Jerk,
some of that plays into it, though.
I Am Malls McGinty. I watched the movie.
I was so young when
I was
came out.
born a poor black child. Yeah, but that's when I was a kid.
Yeah,
that was like the greatest movie.
Yeah, my auntie and uncle used to try to school me to that shit, and it was so 80s that I couldn't really.
Yeah. Oh, but no, I totally get it now. But as a kid, I just watched because it was just so absurdly goofy white guy funny to me.
Yeah. And that's what attracted me to Jim Carrey. See, I wasn't around for him, but when I was at the perfect age for Jim Carrey to drop. Yeah. And I didn't start with Ace Ventura. I watched In Living Color when it was live.
By the way,
then Ace Ventura.
Another hilarious.
Crazy.
How about this? Ace Ventura 2, I think is just as funny as Ace Ventura
just
1.
As good.
That's a bold take.
It's just as good.
Can I tell you why? Can I tell you why?
It's just as good. Tommy Davidson in the backpack.
That's the whole
right,
thing.
yeah.
The reason why I think is because that scene dude, you have to write. Somebody has to write that and visualize that and make that come to fruition. That to me, if I could watch that right now, that will make me laugh.
Not every actor makes you laugh just doing that.
I know.
Pointing to the leg shit, you know?
It takes a lot for me to laugh out loud, I think.
Here's mine. Ready? No, not to make you laugh out loud. Here's my quick Rushmore, right? Because I'm big into this shit.
Oh, he wrote a list. He came prepared.
Right.
And I have honorable mentions. But I'm going to start with my definites, right? Rushmores are normally 4, right? But who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Colin is my 1.
Okay.
Colin.
George Carlin. Sorry,
George
the accent. Carlin.
Yeah, Carlin. Yeah.
Colin and Chappelle are my 2 goats.
Okay.
Chappelle.
And then I got Louis C.K. in there.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck what he did, where he did it.
I sent you the thing. Did you watch the last special?
I still haven't watched it. I still haven't watched it.
Okay.
And then I'm just a fan of a lot of like newer school. Like I always loved Patrice O'Neal. Nowadays I love Bill Burr.
Patrice got my first manager.
Patrice, what?
He got my first manager. Patrice really liked me.
I need to know everything you know about Patrice right now, or everything he ever told you.
Well, I know that I worked with him and Freddie Stone on Christmas Day. In I want to say 1999. If that's Christmas Day, we have to go back in the day. And he was the middle act, and he went over his time. He was known for not keeping his time. And Freddie Stone was livid.
Yeah.
And I drove him home my little Honda to Roxbury, and I remember saying to him, I said African American in front of him. He looked at me. Come on, Russo. You know me better than that because the whole thing was at that time was the trailer. You have to say African. I'm like, dude, what do I, what buds? But I don't want to piss you off. You know.
Right, yeah.
He was,
fuck out of here with that shit.
And but he hooked me up with Jason Steinberg when I went to New York, thankfully still friends to this day. But yeah, he got my first manager.
That's crazy.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Patrice.
Absolutely.
Patrice.
I didn't know he was. I didn't know he was that sick. I remember saying. I remember.
I didn't either. He was literally on He was on The Office. If you watch the early seasons, he's in the warehouse with Daryl and shit.
Shit.
And his character would have flourished on that show too. But obviously, what happened?
He would have flourished just in general.
Yeah.
That career would have been crazy.
Yeah, his stuff. If you listen to his stuff right now, it's very pertinent to what's going on.
It's crazy.
I've been seeing it on like the Facebook that put.
I recently rewatched Elephant in the Room, and it's just next level shit.
I should do that.
It's next level shit, man. Yeah. His shit with relationships and with girls and just it's the best. Dude.
You were like when he was like,
why we cheat? It's because it's not because we don't like you. We love you so much, right? That we don't want to hurt your feelings. So we do this shit behind your back because he fucking loves his woman so much. And the girls in the audience hated it, but the guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was good with that division shit.
All right, who else? Patrice.
I think
I like your picks. You know, Patrice really grew on me.
And I'm a big Jeselnik head nowadays.
Anthony Jeselnik, yeah.
Listen, I'm not a hater on the Jeselnik people.
He got that dry humor, but I love it.
Well written. I've interviewed. I have a nice interview with Louis C.K. about a 5-minute interview. With Louis, and so I'm happy for anyone in my area that succeeds. But I don't really.
So many of
I love hearing that. I know from Boston.
But the thing is, though, he did something. He did something that's just so horrific. I mean, it's like
really. I mean, I don't.
Well, can I tell you something? Dude? Can I tell you something?
Jesus,
Can I tell you something? I got caught
bad.
once. I've been caught once doing that, and it was
Jerking off in front of a girl.
Yeah, but it was just bad.
Wait, I don't even understand how people do this. I don't
the context
understand
here?
Well, how you get caught?
Oh, how does it even happen?
Oh, what is the context? Is what you don't understand?
No, I'm saying I got
don't
caught.
like-
They came in while I was privately thought.
Okay. I get it.
That's
different.
Jesus Christ! What the hell you think I'm saying? No,
I thought you were saying, you
No.
you and a girl chilling, all of a sudden you whip it out and just start jerking off. Like,
no, what I'm saying is he would purposely do that. Like that to me is the most embarrassing thing in the world ever.
I agree.
That's true.
So
yeah.
obviously that's a little upstairs thing he's got to work on.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm
think anyone
private
can
with
agree
that.
with that.
Dude.
Yeah.
You look like a strange thing when you're doing that alone.
Yeah. You're right about that.
Even with the partner, you don't
Yeah.
look too cool.
For real. Sometimes when I'm having sex, I'm like, when I'm about to come, I'm like, all right, please don't look at my face because it's about to be super weird.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that shit,
And
Stiz,
then
or
I'm
even
just,
hear
and I just
about it.
throw my body on you. I'm like, all right.
I love it.
You guys, back to Jeselnik jokes.
Let's
I love Jeselnik jokes though; they are pretty good. He's dark, but I. All
All right, so let's go by age. Let's go by age group. So I pretty much did the older guys because you expect
it's a
the
generational
Cosby thing. The Cosby thing I remember because he could paint. He could tell a story.
Yeah.
Obviously we know he's which I don't still once again I don't understand.
Take all that shit out of it.
I live in a 2-bedroom. I can have a date. I get a date. I don't need. He's worth $60 billion. If I was worth $60 billion,
I think when you're talking about certain things, you got to take the other things out of it.
Yeah,
I'm asking who
because
your favorite comedian is, not the favorite comedian who has never done something and got caught. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
you got to be able to separate the shit.
So all right. So I would say always a fan of him. Always a fan, but I like Eddie Murphy too. I like the Dice Man growing up. Anyone that's from my age group but doesn't like the Dice Man.
So I did as a little kid, but looking back, I think it's just because I'm a little kid and he's saying some foul, fucked up shit.
This is the whole thing.
Yeah,
But this is the
Dice
whole
Man.
thing. Somehow you have to know this guy's a genius. He created one
course.
character
Yep.
and sold out Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
He has. You know. I mean, he was. I mean, he worked hard, and so. Yeah, but at that time, dude, that's what we
was.
I mean,
that was groundbreaking shit at the time.
You know,
though.
I was a kid, dude. I was an 18-year-old kid with
Yeah.
a boner every 20 seconds.
Right.
Unlike today, it's every 25 seconds. You know,
That's good. That's progress, bro.
right.
It's progress, not
but
perfection.
you know what I mean? What I'm saying is like us guys in college, we listened to him, and I remember learning. I remember hearing him do. I kind of learned
if you're
from him.
college or high school age when he dropped,
Right.
Dice,
fuck
bro,
out of
that's
here.
right
Well,
up
that's the
there.
whole. That's the whole thing.
Little
Check this
Miss
out. So-
Muffet, you'd say it's every girl
how about
drunk
this,
at a
though?
party.
Yeah.
How about no? I know. how about this though? I remember him changing the punchline on a joke I saw on a special, and he did something else, and I was like, "Oh, I don't like that. I want the way you do it." And now I do comedy. I'm like, "Ooh, you got to change the punchlines
I
there."
think it was Rogan who I may have heard. Can I grab one of those? I love you. I think it was Rogan who I heard say that Dice was one of the first people, maybe because he was doing like stadium shows and shit like that, where it's almost like, you know how a band has to play their fucking famous song, their number one hit.
Yeah.
Dice was one of the first people where people wanted to hear those specific bits.
know.
Which is
And
weird
if he
with
didn't
jokes
do
because there's no
them,
music
yeah,
involved.
Right.
So, and
they're
you know
bits,
the punchline
yeah.
ahead of time.
Listen,
And
it's
you see it
genius.
now.
It's genius, and
You see it now with like Bert Kreischer, the Russian bit. I don't know if you're familiar with that,
Not
but like
really.
the Russian. You familiar with Bert?
Bert's
pretty funny.
Recently, yeah, he just sold out the
Wilbur. I saw him at the
the
Wilbur.
Yarmouth Drive-In, and I've been seeing him with the podcast with Billy Burr. But I saw he takes his shirt off and he has a Russian bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that
that's-
dude.
The Russian, yeah.
The dude
he
that takes his shirt off on Netflix. I know him, yeah.
Yeah, no,
And
I
the
definitely
Russian
know who
bit
he
is
is.
the one that like kind of got him big. And so now
Okay.
every fucking show he does, he has to do. He actually ends every show. He walks off stage. And then he comes back out and
Does
goes.
the Russian bit. That's
So
great.
I'll tell you about the one time I learned Russian, or I almost got attacked by
okay.
a Russian mafia or
Yeah,
whatever.
there's ways
The
around
crowd
it.
goes fucking crazy.
There's ways around it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for
Or
sure.
to bring
Yeah,
it
yeah,
back,
for
but
sure.
not do the same exact.
Well, do you have like a favorite bit, like one of yours that like, you know, it don't matter, you know, even if it's all whatever, like you're gonna pull that out.
Or if you're not getting a good reaction, like, fuck, I got to bring this one out.
Yeah,
gotta
I mean,
bring- yeah, you
look,
gotta-
I can always do De Niro if I have to.
Oh,
That's
listen,
true.
Can you
Can we
look
just
in the
do it for the-
camera? Like,
Get that
He
fucking
does
guy.
the best. So I met David when I was working on the Maddie and Nick show on AAF, and Maddie and Nick being, somewhat comedians, they brought him on.
No, they're
And-
comedians.
Somewhat.
Yeah, no, they are. I know. I say
You
somewhat.
heard that, Maddie?
I say somewhat because they do other things. Like they do TV, radio. Like
I'm just, you know what? I didn't want to be there and not say anything. What the hell, Russo? He said
I know,
somewhat
right?
comedians.
Like,
You'll be
say
up. You're
so,
just
yeah.
somewhat. No. I
didn't mean it like
actually
that.
met both of
Super
them.
fucking funny.
Me and Maddie auditioned for Mike Clark and passed the same night. We auditioned. Me and Maddie Blake auditioned. He went first. He passed first. I passed after him.
Mike Russo was like the Mitzi of Boston.
Mike Clark.
Mike Clark,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah,
we
Mike
were at
Clark.
Nick's
He
Comedy
has to
Stuff.
pass
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So we both auditioned that night. He definitely passed. I passed, and then and I met Nick doing a fundraiser at Nick's Comedy Stuff in Boston. I didn't know he was from Massachusetts. I knew he was from New York, so I gave him an attitude. I was
funny.
a total dick to him.
Hilarious.
And I love him. He's like the highest working guy in the world. He's
Yeah,
brilliantly
super
smart.
hard. Yeah, super
and
smart. Super
I tell him all the time. I gave you an attitude. He goes, yeah, you did. He goes, why? I go, I thought you were from New York. I knew you were from the Soja. He
Well,
goes,
with the 50,
you fucking asshole.
Yeah. Living out in New York. I was talking to Maddie today. He's actually on Oak Island doing his thing. So shout out
Awesome.
Maddie Blake.
Maddie.
But yeah,
they're
so
still
that's
digging up shit, looking for shit in Oak
Damn,
Island.
they're never gonna fucking stop digging that place up. But that's
Good.
how I met David. They brought David in, and he did that fucking impression, and I was floored. I'd
Yeah,
never
look at that
seen
face.
an impression
Yo,
like
get
that
that
in
outta
my
here.
fucking life, dude. Like, how
Yeah,
did
that
you
is
fucking
crazy.
like? How do you even discover
Yeah,
that?
'cause-
Like, how do you even?
You don't even
figure
have to-
out like I can.
So I
do
know how it
that?
happened.
Like,
You don't
I
have
know
to
how it
try
happened.
hard. It
I
looks
know how
like
it
that.
happened. I know how it happened. I was best man at my college roommate's wedding. So the bachelor party was in Atlantic City. I wrestled in college.
Mine
So we
was
had-
too. AC, shout out AC. That was my
Nice.
bachelor party too.
Never been there.
No kidding, really. So we had 20 Division I wrestlers. It was BYOB. We had 20 Division I wrestlers walking down the street with freaking cases. And the guy at the dance club goes, "You're not coming in here." And I was, "Oh, yes, we are." "Oh, yes, we are." And so my buddy goes, "You look like De Niro. Get that fucking guy."
Yo, it's
And then the next day, you immediately hit the mirror and started.
like, wait a minute.
A buddy of mine, a friend of mine, he's a Bob Gautreau. Thank you, Bob Gautreau, who's from Malden, who goes, go mint. How you doing,
Wow.
mint?
Yo, you
So he
fucking
taught me
look
how to do
exactly
it.
It's
like
so
him, man.
crazy, right?
Man.
It's the craziest thing I've
Yo.
ever seen, dude.
That is crazy.
So do you have one of those bits though that you're like,
To get you out of a hole.
Yeah.
or just
De Niro.
maybe you love doing it. Maybe
You know
it's
what?
just something you love
I gotta
doing.
tell you, ask any comedian, any new joke that you write is your favorite.
Really?
Like right now.
It's
I'm
like a
trying
new
to-
song. It's like writing a new song.
Yeah.
So like right now, it's not the greatest joke in the world, but I love saying it because everyone's complaining about the pandemic, right, Jules? Everyone's complaining about the pandemic.
Shout out engineer Jules.
Shout out
Right,
engineer
there you go.
Jules.
And but you know who's not complaining about the pandemic? Like dads who have daughters that didn't get to go to prom night.
Oh, that's a nightmare.
Yo, that's-
that's a nightmare.
Factual.
Like, I don't hear any. Yeah, I mean, first of all, dresses are expensive.
That's factual.
Oh yeah. That's true.
And then the real reason.
And then the
obviously,
real
yeah.
reason, an 18-year-old dude goes, I'm going to experiment with Viagra tonight. Oh, you're going to hear this?
Oh, Lord.
Fucking, you met an 18-year-old kid just like hours. How's your daughter doing on prom?
I gotta lock down a couple of those blue pills
Yeah.
just to
I
try.
heard-
I've never tried.
You ever
one,
heard
but
about
that might be a fun time.
when Carmen Electra was fucking with this dude back in the day?
Rodman?
No. Navarro? Dave
Dave
Navarro.
Navarro,
yeah,
And he
yeah.
fucking would rip fucking Viagras and fucking just plow
Fuck
through
her
her.
all
But
night.
they had an issue one time like that to call it. That shit wouldn't
Oh,
go.
yeah,
just
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
go down. It was one of those things.
I wanted to play you this.
We getting into some stuff or
Well,
no?
yeah, real quick.
Okay.
Well, yeah, let me just hit this. You are a friend, or I was talking to
Okay.
my buddy Johnny Hickey
Yes.
this morning, and he said he knew you.
Yes.
And apparently they did.
What's up, Johnny?
Stiz didn't believe him.
Johnny took
said
some
he knew
video. He took a video of Dave, right?
Okay.
And he muted Dave's voice.
All right.
And he put a voice over it.
Okay.
Watch this. This is pretty funny, dude.
Whew, first bike ever. It's first bike. First bike. Can you believe it? My first bike ever. Look at it. Come with me around to the back. Let me show you something real quick, all right? Look at this. It's yellow, green. It's green. It's yellow. It's yellow and green. All in one. Can you believe it's a first bike? Never had a bike. And I'm going to ride like this. Boom. You know that? And when I get on this bike, it's going to feel so great because I'm left, right, and left, and right. And I'm going to keep doing that. Yeah, I swear to God. So check it out. I love my mom. I love my dad. But I love this bike so much, I tell you.
Yo, you gotta see the video with it, though.
That's awesome.
I mean,
Johnny Hickey did
I
that.
hope we can share
Yeah,
that.
Johnny and his
Can I
dog.
share that on Facebook?
I was
Yeah,
gonna say-
I'll get it to
Dude,
you.
that's
We'll
fucking
share it on our
hilarious.
Stuck and Stuff
Yeah,
Instagram.
that's-
Shout out Hickey.
Because they're only gonna hear it on the podcast. We got to show
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's
you need
great.
the visuals.
Funny.
I will post. I
Oh
will
my
post that
God.
video.
That
to
is
all
good.
our
That's
socials.
really good.
Yeah, they killed that one. But I'm like,
I
oh,
get
you
tears
know,
in my eyes.
Dave.
I'm laughing.
Nah,
Yeah,
Hickey,
and
Hickey
he's
killed that,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, Hickey's a fucking funny little prick. Shout out, Hickey. All right, guys, let's get into some stuff before we wrap up. We don't want to keep Dave.
Yeah,
too
let's do
long.
what we do. We'll get into some
We'll
stuff
get
from this
into some
weekend, and
stuff.
Dave could chime in.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead, Snuk. What do you got? You want to start off first?
Well, we were talking a little earlier about, when I was talking about comedians, and he was like, Cosby before that, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We're talking about comedians. We're talking about comedians.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're talking about music.
I
We're
like
talking
that.
about music.
Okay.
I'm always have been a huge R. Kelly guy.
He loves R. Kelly.
Anyways, to transition, R. Kelly gets beat the fuck up in his jail cell this
saw
week.
this,
I don't know
yeah.
if either of you guys
Really?
heard this shit. He got banged out in his. They're holding him somewhere in Chicago, where he's from. Got lumped out by it was a cellmate or a random guy fucking, and that's all they know because of COVID. His lawyers can't hardly get a hold of anything.
Right.
So
and
you
figure out
could
what's
say
the-
maybe that they're keeping it on the down
low.
low.
Keep it on the
yes,
down low.
yes, I fucking went there.
So
Come
I think
on,
they
give
put
me a
him-
round of applause
they-
for that. I thought that
Not
was
bad.
pretty
That
good.
was pretty good.
And if I ever listened to R. Kelly, I would have known that song.
They put him obviously to be alone in
PC.
PC
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
But you could say he's trapped in the closet.
So, well, you know what? I mean, guys, he's in jail. I mean,
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know
that's
you.
what
I
happened.
mean,
You know, the
That's what
pedophile, the pedos are always the ones that get it. The
I'm
worst.
surprised that he was even around regular people, even being a celebrity. I know when Tyson went in for rape, he was PC'd immediately. Or
Really?
Tyson would have beat the bag on him.
well, obviously, it was probably for everyone else's protection with
Yeah,
Tyson, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's
Scary
so,
man.
Kels, because I was just wondering last week what is going on with him. He's
right, we were wondering
He's
that, so
still
he's
just
still in jail.
Wow.
He's
So he
still
got
just
lumped up?
a lot lumped up. Figure,
You know what? Maybe he was. Yeah, I'm
That's
not
what
gonna tell
happens
you.
when
Someone
you-
else's mind.
That, how funny is that though to go from the pinnacle of success to now you're in jail getting beat the fuck up by random
Right.
people, almost like
Writing-
Harvey Weinstein.
writing
know what?
platinum songs for Celine
Platinum
Dion
song.
and now getting banged out in a Chicago jail.
Right, Harvey Weinstein fucking made movies,
Right, yeah.
fucking people shouting him out at the Oscars, and now he's in a fucking jail cell doing whatever.
Yeah, he allegedly had
shitty
COVID
mashed
too.
potatoes.
He allegedly
Oh,
had
really?
COVID. And
Yeah, it's fucked
I,
up.
don't, I haven't heard from him either. I mean, what's
Oh, well, I think he's just in jail. I think he
Yeah.
tried to pull the "I have COVID, I want to get
Yeah,
out of jail"
to
and
get
they were
out.
Like, yeah, no, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So
wow?
Yeah.
It is a strange universe.
Yeah,
Like I don't really know
definitely.
much about the only thing I know about the R. Kelly is when I would watch the show.
Surviving R. Kelly.
Surviving R. Kelly.
No,
it's on
the
Netflix.
cartoon, the two brothers, the cartoon, the
Boondocks.
the
Oh, Boondock Saints.
And they had
Oh, they
episodes-
must have
Shout
shit
out
on him
knowing
all the time.
You know, how about
Boondocks,
this?
hell yeah.
They used to bust out on them all and make me
Oh,
laugh.
yeah.
I can imagine.
I had
That's
to
a great
stop.
show.
I had to stop listening. I had to stop. I used to have it saved. I had because I was saying words that they were saying in public, and I'm going, you can't be saying that.
Nah,
you know
you
what
probably
I mean?
not. Probably
I
not.
mean, because every other word, it's just like, but it is such a well written
Oh,
show, and you
super
do learn. And if you're
well-written,
gonna learn about what's going on in the world, you gotta learn from someone else's point of view,
Right.
And that's why I love they have the kids Malcolm X and the other ones.
I got to get hit with that shit. I've seen.
I forget their names. I couldn't even tell
when
you.
it
I've only
first
caught
dropped.
a few episodes.
When it
but-
first came out, I seen a few episodes, but I never
that's
stuck
kinda-
with
Yeah,
it.
that's kind of how I am. But
I need-
just
I need to
know
go
it's
back.
hilarious. I've seen clips
I stuck
here
with.
and
I
there.
stuck with. It's pretty funny.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it definitely is. Here's a funny story, Russo. So there is this rapper named Future.
Okay.
All right, he got a divorce from his wife not too long ago. They have a child
Well,
together.
he's got a ton of kids, but I think with a ton of different BMs.
Okay,
all right,
but
kids
this
go.
particular one.
This particular one.
She requested that she wanted $53,000 a month in child support.
Okay.
The rapper Future made a counter offer. Said, "Listen, I'll give you a G. I'll give you a
1,000.
stack."
1,000
The
was his
judge-
counter offer.
Yeah, that was the counter offer to 53.
Judge,
I
shout
was
out-
thinking more of 1,000.
Hey, shout out to this
Shout-
judge right
this is
here.
I think this is a win for men worldwide.
This is a win for fathers everywhere.
I swear to God, the judge ruled that $3,200 a month is all that Future will have to
3,200.
pay.
This is a platinum selling like music artist.
But
right
I
now.
think that's crazy. That listen, who needs $53,000
Well, hold on a second,
a
hold on a
month?
second.
She doesn't
That's
need it.
crazy.
Hold on a second. Let's maybe the judge had, maybe, what they've been dating for 3 years, and when he entered the relationship, he already was worth $50 million, and he only made, since he knew her, he only made
Another,
$16 million
right.
because she spent all his money. So the real judge goes, you know what? You've known him; he's worth $16 million. Divided by 2, divided by 3, carry to 1.
Right.
$3,200 a month.
That makes sense. Beat it. Fuck out of here.
But yeah, I just think that's crazy.
You're lucky you're getting $3,200 a month. Jesus.
Yeah, and it's like that story with with Jeff Bezos' wife. They got a divorce.
That's
She
insane,
became the
dude.
second richest person in the world just because she divorced Jeff
insane.
Bezos. I just think like that's kind of crazy.
You shouldn't become the
there should be
second.
a limit.
You can't be the second most richest person just for fucking somebody.
Hold on a second. Yes, you can.
You can.
And you did.
Because I want to be there someday.
Yeah.
He's not married to her anymore. She's single.
No, I'm trying to fuck. I'm still trying to
I'm
fuck
definitely
Oprah right
trying to-
now.
Yo, that dinero might work, bro. I'm telling you,
You,
strong.
I've got a gift.
Fucking strong. Yeah, so I just thought, I don't know. I just think that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because
There
over
should be a limit.
the years, you hear stories like that. The women's asking for this. Bezos obviously is the crazy one.
Yeah.
But you
And
hear
then
these
sometimes
stories.
they get it,
and-
like alimony
Yeah,
and
they
child
get it.
support.
Guys, in Hollywood, and this is it's been like that since as far back. And like when Johnny Carson had 3 wives, Robin Williams had a couple divorces, De Niro just got divorced, millions of dollars. I mean, dude, this is what it goes. I'm famous, I get the hot chick, and then when the hot chick goes, you know what, your
pay
balls
her.
are too smelly, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
I want my money.
Smelly ball, fuck out of here.
I think so.
I'll take
No,
it.
does it work? Are all those,
I mean,
those
dude, remember
nights
the one
fucking
girl
working?
married that 80-year-old Texas tycoon?
Yeah, Anna Nicole
that,
Smith.
Anna Nicole?
She
Anna
married.
Nicole
Yeah.
Smith.
You think that was making her? Oh my
No, I
God!
know.
Look at the wrinkles. Look at those dimples. I mean, wrinkles on
Nah,
his face.
I remember the show on E. She loved him for him.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was definitely a real connection. So yesterday, September 1st, was the first day that Joe Rogan, his new Spotify deal
Okay.
started. As of right now, you can still get the Joe Rogan episodes on YouTube.
Or can you?
No, exactly, or can you?
Really?
'Cause
So
he
on
promised
Spotify-
everybody that they
Yeah.
would be able to get his whole old catalog.
Exactly. So as of yesterday, they put up every old Joe Rogan episode is now on Spotify.
Wow.
Except
certain ones people found as they went through everything. People being, I mean, Jesus, how hard do you have to look to see this? But
So
certain
it's-
ones are missing,
right.
like
So it's
Alex Jones,
all
and
the
Chris
crazy,
D'Elia.
all the crazy, like
right-wing
right wing
people.
crazy people are not there no more.
Yeah,
and so
not
really?
on Spotify.
yeah, so people are saying, is it Spotify that lied to Joe, and then
That's what I'm thinking.
or is it Joe?
maybe kind of giving in.
what happens in the future?
Like Spotify was like, listen, we don't want these episodes on the
Are
platform.
you not allowed now to have insane people in the future? 'Cause
Yeah, like Alex Jones
Right.
or Milo, whatever the fuck is.
I didn't know Chris D'Elia was
Chris
one of
D'Elia
them.
was one of them. Yeah.
I didn't
So
know that.
what was his?
Yeah, has
thing?
Rogan spoke about it yet?
No, in fact, today because
this just dropped, like, today.
Yeah, the second
really?
episode
Yeah.
today came out. The second episode on Spotify came out, and it's Miley Cyrus.
Okay.
And he, as far as I know, I scanned through it pretty much today when I got home, and I don't think he mentioned it, but everyone is
Okay.
tagging Joe Rogan on Twitter, like, "Yo, what's up, bro? How come there's
It's
episodes
possible.
missing?"
It's possible he doesn't know about it.
Yeah,
Who the
I think
fuck
he's
knows?
gonna have to address it though, because that's
You know it's a shame. It's a shame. This guy just signed a multi-million-dollar deal. He brought he invented. I don't want to say he invented it, but I mean he's a pioneer.
OG,
yeah,
He's a
for
pioneer
sure.
with the
Absolutely.
podcast what we're
Podcast,
doing
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And you know what? If Spotify goes, listen, you're gonna drop about 12 of those episodes. We're still gonna pay the dough.
Oh, of course.
You know what? I'll write an apology letter to my peeps. Like, hey,
So
listen,
I'm doing that,
yes,
right? But
yeah.
what I was reading online on the way over here was that people like his fans and shit is like it goes against everything. Apparently,
it goes against
that Joe Rogan
everything.
stands for.
It's non-censored.
you know,
Like, I'm going to
he
talk
ra-
about what I want to talk
he
about.
will
No one
rather-
can censor
Yeah.
me.
He will rather have the insane person on the show and have
not have sponsors.
have the discussion and
Okay.
talk back and forth and go and let that be what it is.
Yeah, and
As
you
a
can decide.
or maybe he's a mad genius and now he's getting more publicity out of it because you know what? As we were talking right now, I had Spotify. I think it was like $9.99 a month, and then I went to this
Yeah,
one
I
for
have it.
$3.99 to the Amazon thing. But then I can't do the Amazon on my phone. I can only do it on my Alexa. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
you know
need
what? This beats.
Spotify.
So I got to go for the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, might
So
as
now,
well.
as we're talking, I go, I'm gonna go support Joe.
Right. Yeah.
And then,
That's true. That's a
yeah.
good point. It's a good point.
And
I
as
heckled
of-
him. I heckled Joe, by the way.
Oh, really?
You
Tell us
heckled
that
him
story.
when
I
you were
heckled
waiting
him.
on the
He
side.
no, he performed at my college. It wasn't heckling, but it was. Yeah, no, it wasn't really heckling. No, it was more of support. Dude, he was doing a hell gig in a bar.
How do you wait? He's like, I
Hold
heckled
on.
Joe
You went
Rogan.
from heckle
Actually,
to
nah, I mean, I
support.
supported him.
Well, I'll explain. I'll explain how.
fuck you, but it was like in a good way.
I'll explain how. So our whole wrestling team was at this bar, Peanuts, in Pennsylvania, and it was an opening act, and there was a guy who was like doing a WWF, Mean Gene, like the or whatever.
He's
he
a
was,
wrestling
right?
head.
Yeah.
And then
Loves
Joe
it.
Rogan was there.
Real wrestling, not the shit you guys did.
Oh yeah, in tights. So Rogan, the crowd wasn't really paying attention. So the wrestling team, we were trying to shush the crowd up.
Right.
And then when he would talk out, answer questions, we would kind of answer the questions.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's where I learned you don't really answer the questions.
Yeah. No,
You go with it, but we did talk to him afterwards, and we invited him out. And cause I said, "Hey, you from Revere? I'm from Malden, Pennsylvania." And I think we bought him beers or whatever. But
Beautiful.
It was a quick thing. He probably wanted. Now think of it, he's probably, what a fucking hell gig this is.
Yeah, he
Thank
probably
God I got
hated
the
it.
wrestling team. Yeah,
probably hated it.
He was, he was good though, dude. He was the king of the hell gig. It was a hell gig. It was a
That's
fucking
crazy.
Bar? Are you kidding me?
He came up, man. He came
Yeah.
up in the streets.
Yeah.
man.
Certainly
Straight up.
did. Certainly
man.
did.
I
Wilkes-Barre,
honestly-
Pennsylvania, Peanuts. He'll remember it too. I know he would, because you always remember those fucking gigs.
Is there anyone bigger than like Joe Rogan right now? The fucking guy.
Well, not
is
right now.
like-
He just signed
Bill
that
Burr.
fucking deal, man.
You think
Billy-
Burr's bigger than Rogan?
No.
Listen, I'm not a
No.
fan of Rogan's comedy per se.
But because of the
Doesn't
podcast,
really do it for
no,
me.
the podcast,
His podcast is
and that
what really
deal,
does
he
it.
just what was it, 100 mil, whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
next level shit.
Yeah, he's got a different audience. His stand-up's a different style of comedy.
Yeah.
He'll make you think. He'll do the point
Yeah,
of view,
yeah,
and which is good for comedy. But his podcasting is really
It's
really fun to
unbelievable.
watch.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
unbelievable. David Blaine did his new stunt today. Where he held a bunch of balloons and he just let them
I forgot this was gonna happen.
take them into the
That was
sky.
today?
That was today.
What happened?
He pulled it off. So
No, he didn't.
He held on to I think it was like 55 helium balloons. David Blaine just held on to them, floated up, got up to about 26,000 feet or something like that, and then let go. But before that, he had to climb up a little bit, grab the parachute, put it on.
I was gonna say, wasn't it something like where he was kind of attached to one of those balloon type things
Yeah,
or
he
something?
was like holding on and his hand was attached to the balloons because they told him in the beginning, like, listen, why don't you just do it with the parachute already on? And he said, no, I want it to look like, when you would picture as a kid, you would just hold a balloon
Right.
and fly away.
Like you always wanted to do that.
So he's
yeah.
like, I don't want to have the parachute on me when I first leave the ground. And they were like, dude, what the fuck? So what they did was they rigged
Insurance
it so that
company
it was,
loved that shit.
I'm sure, right? So they rigged it like up in the balloon. So once he got
Okay.
out of sight,
Okay.
from people on the ground, he had to climb up there,
Wow.
grab the fucking.
Did they videotape him doing
the whole
that?
thing was
Fuck
on
that.
YouTube Live this morning. I watched it with Bacon.
YouTube
I don't
Live?
know. I don't know.
Yeah, it was great.
I mean, I'm
Well-
sure it was a stunt.
It wasn't. Listen, it was kind of underwhelming. Like I'm sure. Like listen, would I do that? Fuck no. And I'm sure it was very hard for him. But it wasn't. You didn't get the visceral reaction of like
Yeah.
him being fucking buried in the ice block for 3 days, or
Right,
him
right.
standing on the tower for 10 days,
Right.
or bet. It didn't get that type of reaction.
Right.
But like. It was a crazy stunt, and it looked really cool to just see him in fucking 50-something helium balloons just floating through the sky. Like
Never works
It
the way
was
you
kinda
think it
crazy.
is. As a kid,
Yeah,
I did jump off of a tree.
Yes.
Opening a trash bag on the
I
way
did the
down.
umbrella.
Oh, you did
I
the
tried the
umbrella.
umbrella.
You
It
tried the
never
Mary
worked.
Poppins.
Yeah,
I did the
yeah.
trash bag, the black bag.
yeah, never.
It does-
worked.
it doesn't
I
work.
jumped in the snow.
Yes, I used to do that off of like low
Oh
roofs.
yeah, hell yeah.
Low
yeah,
roofs
yeah,
onto
hell
like
yeah,
a
hell
foot
yeah.
of snow
Oh, yeah.
all day.
Hell yeah. I don't know if you saw this guy, but there is this guy in I believe it's where is it? Nebraska, right? And so this guy went in front of his city council today because he has something that he's trying to get passed. I'll let him tell you.
Lincoln has the opportunity to be a social leader in this country.
Lincoln,
We've
Nebraska.
been casually ignoring a problem that has gotten so out of control that our children are throwing around names and words without even understanding their true meaning and treating things as though they're normal. I go into nice family restaurants and I see people throwing this name around and pretending as though everything is just fine. I'm talking about boneless chicken wings. I propose that we as a city remove the... Excuse me, I'm trying to...
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I love how he does that.
I propose that we rename boneless wings in the city of Lincoln. We can call them buffalo-style chicken tenders. We can call them wet tenders. We can call them saucy nugs or trash.
What trash.
He's
We should
copying
take
those
these
other dudes that
steps
do
to
this
show
though.
the country that where we stand, and that we understand that we've been living a lie for far too long, and we know it because we feel it in our bones.
That's amazing.
So his whole thing is like boneless wings are not boneless wings. There is no such thing as
There's no such
boneless
thing as a
wings.
boneless wing. Yeah, I get it. Is that the new wave now? Showing up to the local,
So like the local
your
things
local,
and just having crazy.
because you
fucking
know those
things
two
to
kids
say.
that do it
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the time.
They're
Have
like,
you ever
yo,
heard
we
them
should like
do
try
it?
to party. Like
Yeah,
those
they're
kids,
like,
right?
and they use the crazy like Cali like surfer
yeah,
slang,
yeah.
but they're legit in front of like their town
You never
fucking
seen those
committees
kids?
and
No,
shit.
I haven't seen
Oh,
those.
they're
The
pretty
two
funny.
kids I've been watching is actually one. I don't see the brother is there's two young kids who listen to old music that they've never heard before.
Oh, the reaction videos,
yeah,
right?
the reaction videos.
I've seen a
those
few
are
of
pretty
those.
Fun. Those are pretty fun.
Who are those kids? I don't think I know.
You know what? It's just some two young kids.
Yeah.
And they just listen to people send them music to listen to. They were listening to. They're probably like
And you
19
get
years old.
their
Like, I never
yeah.
heard this guy. Arrows. No, Rolling
Right,
Stone. I
right.
thought Rolling Stone was a magazine. I thought it was a magazine.
But they'll even be playing shit from like 15, 20 years ago, and they don't
40
even know
They're
it.
playing stuff from 40, 50 years
And you
ago.
get their genuine
And they're
first-time
digging it, and
reaction.
yeah, and it's pretty
Yeah.
badass.
Here is real quick. We'll play
Activists
some.
and house
Okay.
party
Play
enthusiasts.
some of this.
These are the people
These
I
are the
fuck with.
surfer
Past
kids.
week, I've been in a state of deep despair upon hearing the news that LA is trying to outlaw house parties in the Hollywood Hills. I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
Atrocity.
House parties were the bedrock of my development as a young man in San Clemente. My first introduction to manhood came when the captain of my water polo team, Boomer Kingsley, asked me to shotgun a tall can of Bud Light in front of the whole squad at his end of the season bash. His parents were in Tahoe at the time, so we tore that weekend up. It was epic, and I was super stoked. My newfound confidence gave me the courage to ask out the most popular girl in school.
So it goes
Lauren
on like that.
Stockton.
But yeah, so that's kind of
Oh,
like.
Yo,
Positive.
but when they
That's kinda
start,
what people
when they
do.
drop the slang though, it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
That Cali
Yeah.
surface thing, and there's just all like the board sitting there,
It
and they
was a
have to
banging
listen.
party.
It was a
It was a
banging
banging
party.
party.
Yeah, like if a Boston kid did it, it would be crazy too.
Snuk, was there anything else you wanted to?
Of
before we
course,
wrap,
you know
guys?
you know how this goes
Let's
when we have a
bang out-
guest.
Let's bang
All
out.
right.
Oh
You-
no, don't do it.
You know how this goes when
Please
we have a
don't do it.
guest.
Please do not do it.
I didn't even warn him ahead of time either. I should have. I do
don't
like to
even.
ask people when they come on the show for their best personal
don't do it.
shot story.
That's fucking gross.
Your best personal shot story.
Like when you
When
shit
you
yourself?
shot at
Oh,
yourself.
he knew. See, I'm like.
All right.
I like the drop on
All
that.
right, you ready for this one?
Because sometimes people come on here and they act like they've never shotted, and I fucking hate that shit.
That's
No,
fucking
I
gross.
already know what it is.
Give me your
so.
best one, baby. Let's do it.
Oh my God! Of course, Dave Russo
Stucco
has
Stuff
a
Shot Story.
fucking short story.
Episode
All right.
73.
Don't
Let's
do
go.
this.
But I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna try to make myself sound good.
We argue about
course.
this because
I believe it was either after
the.
it was either after the second or the third Boston Comedy Softball Co-Ed Championship. We were at the bar across the street afterwards, the something pub, the Beacon Hill Pub.
Right.
And of course, I had you get the white spandex pants
The
underneath.
white pants.
Oh,
And you get the
no.
black shorts.
Yeah.
And I was partying a little bit back in the neighborhood back then, so all of a sudden it snuck up on me. So I went into the bathroom, and of course I did what every person's supposed to do. I took those things off, I
Yep,
flushed them,
yep.
right?
Oh, a touch cloth?
wiped my ass
A
like a
touch
champ,
cloth.
and then just kept my regular shorts on over it. And I
Right.
went out, and the girl I was dating, Katie's like, "You just shit your pants, didn't you?"
She knew?
You just shit yourself. I go, "Yep." She goes, "Fucking knew it."
So
The girl I was with knew. I
So,
fucking
clearly-
took
clearly-
a Duganator.
clearly touch cloth, so you had to toss the undies.
Oh, I had to.
Had to get rid of them.
I was
and
bummed.
then you
Bummed.
just cleaned up, did what you had to do, and you get right back into it like nothing happened, right?
You know,
that's all you can do. What else can you do?
No, I stayed drinking. I washed up pretty good.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, I was really bummed out because those spandex shorts underneath, like those really helped me from like pulling muscles, and they're like
Right.
expensive and they fit good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I had to throw those out.
Yeah,
They were
there they
broken
go.
in.
There they go. Another shot story for the
Shasta.
books. Another shot story,
That
baby.
was pretty good. Was there any other? Real quick before we wrap up, I want to say rest in peace to Chad Boseman.
Oh.
Black Panther. That was super crazy. We found out that he passed away. We also found out that he had been battling colon cancer for
Yeah.
quite a few years. Was still able to bang out all those movies.
Yep.
And that was just super crazy. Snuk, did you see? So Snuk and I really aren't too big into the superhero movies. So
Neither
I'll
am
be
I.
honest, I didn't see.
I saw him in Jackie Robinson 42.
Apparently he did that
Yeah,
too.
he's just a champion. I didn't, they made him look older than he was, man.
Yeah, apparently he nailed that too. I'm not hip to his movies.
Yeah, that I didn't really know who he was until it came out, and I never saw the Black Panther one. And but I remember 42. I remember because I know the story of him and Pee Wee Reese, how they came together. I mean, he was really. There's a reason why number 42 you can't wear number 42 in the major leagues right now.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, his number's retired. He was the first. He crossed the line. He crossed the barriers. He caught more shit. Jackie,
you're talking about Jackie Robinson
caught more shit back in the day when he played. I want to say in 42.
Oh yeah, can you
42,
fucking imagine?
I know. That was brutal.
Craziness.
It was brutal, classy man, and so you can't wear the number 42. Wow. And as a matter of fact, Mo Vaughn, who was on the Red Sox had number 42, and now I don't think. No, I know it's retired. You're not allowed to wear it anymore. There might be some exceptions, but if anyone did keep that would be lame.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, I'm an exception.
Yeah, that would be stupid.
Well, R.I.P. Chad Boseman. That was that was crazy. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This is actually what I wanted to
freak out.
Here we go, baby.
It's a beautiful outro
and,
right there.
Let me just there was I think one more thing. New Dancing with the Stars is coming out. Carol Baskins.
I know.
Did you watch Tiger King?
Of course I did.
Yes, bro.
What do you think of Carol Baskins being cast on Dancing with the Stars?
Even though she's a murderer.
You know what? First of all, she'll probably get in great shape, so I think dancing's healthy, and I mean that respectfully because, let's face it, dude, she was a smoke show, I think, back in the day.
Oh, back in the day,
she might have been.
Okay,
she might have her husband.
Of course, because the crazy eyes, she gives great head.
Yeah, she gives crazy
now we're
head.
See, now that we're wrapping up, you're starting to get vulgar.
She gives tiger head. Whatever that is, she gives it.
Tiger head.
Whatever that is. My favorite part about watching any scene with her is watching that fucking goof troop fucking guy.
The husband.
The guy next to her.
Oh my God.
What the fuck is this guy doing?
Oh my God.
Once again, he's 25 years old. He's looking at her like,
yes.
He's looking at her like a tiger's looking at her ex-husband.
Yes.
He gives her head. Yo, somebody vandalized fucking the Graceland Mansion this week.
Really?
What the fuck? Yeah, man.
Yes.
Now, do they say that it was because allegedly Elvis, used to say he took the soul or he took the.
Oh well, yeah. People say that he kind of took black music and made it, made it profitable. They kind of say the same thing about Eminem sometimes. Yeah. It is Virgo season. Let's fucking go.
Virgo season. Let's go.
Has everyone fucked the? You know what? Next episode we might have to talk about the best people to have sex with, like the best signs.
Oh, okay.
Geminis, Virgos.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, you see a lot of those memes and shit. Yeah, we gotta look into that.
I'm a Gemini. I get it.
Somebody said to me, "What sign was I?" I said, "I'm April."
And
I'm a Ram, Aries baby.
And Fresh Prince is getting that reunion. Oh, they're getting a reunion.
Fresh Prince is getting a reunion
on HBO Max
special.
that I have.
It's not unusual to get naked in the shower.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
David Russo, thank you so much for coming out. When can people see you? September 18th?
September 18th. Just go on DaveRusso.net. That's DaveRusso.net, not .com. That's a plumber in Ohio. It really is. So DaveRusso.net's got my schedule. But yeah, we can do on that one. And we'll talk about the wine next time.
You got the wine.
We'll talk about our little Malbec red wine. You can get a Focino vinegar. Don't worry about it. We'll do that next time. Part two with Russo.
Yes,
thank you, brother.
Russo, thank you for coming on. I am Stiz Grimey on everything.
Superstar Snuk on everything.
Daddy wasn't there.
Peace.
Go check out that Stuck on Stuff Spotify playlist. I'm going to let this run out, baby.
You're going to love The Word Is Out. It's a great song.